All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry for running a little bit late. I had somebody there in my office. It's a few minutes after 9. Let's begin with a prayer, and then we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful new day, and we thank you for the rain, Lord. It fills up our streams and our lakes and just helps everyone in general. We pray for protection from the damage that the storms can cause. We just lift up this meeting to you now and just ask that you be our overseer and guide, that you would give us wisdom and knowledge to act appropriately on each item, to consider the wishes of the public, and to make the right moves ultimately. We thank you, Lord, for the celebration these last few days, D-Day on the 70th, and we just thank you for those that were able to participate in the activities at the airport. Continue to bless our servicemen and women and bring them home safely ultimately, and be with their families while they are away, to encourage them and comfort them. Lord, we just ask you to give us safety as we leave this meeting for those that have traveled here today. We give it all to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do you have any public comment requests today? I'm going to start with item number 1, public comments and or requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. And I've got 2 or 3 that are here today to make presentations. Is there anyone else that would like to take advantage of this time? Come on in, Troy. All righty, I'll move on to item number 2, consider and possibly approve minutes from our May 27th, 2014 special meeting of Commissioners Court.
Mr. Judge, I'd like to make a motion to approve minutes.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hinton and a second by Commissioner Hockaday. I have a copy if anybody wanted to see those. All those in favor of the approval of those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let me back up a moment and just get it on the record that today is the 9th of June, 2014. It's 9 a.m., and this is our first meeting of the month, our morning meeting. Item number 3, presentation by Mike Edwards regarding the Caddo Trace Subdivision. Mike, if you'll come on up to the podium, tap that mic, make sure we've got you on so that we can, there you go. You can adjust that however you want.
Thank you for your time, guys. I have handed you, prior to the meeting, a little brochure. Basically, it has a map of Caddo Trace Estates. In about 2006 or late 2006 or early 2007, that subdivision was approved by the Commissioners Court to be a subdivision, and it was platted in the records of the Titus County Courthouse. So that is it's a bona fide, full-fledged subdivision that has restrictions in the whole. Everything's in order for that part of it. I'm here for 2 reasons this morning. One, and I've talked to Commissioner Hockaday already prior to the meeting, and Judge Lee, we're not sure as to whether that street has been petitioned to become property of the county or not. When that street that is in there was built, we used strict guidelines that were presented by Commissioner Hockaday to build that street, and went by the guidelines and specifications that were presented to us to make sure that street was up to par. Obviously, it has stood the test of time, I would think. It has actually been there since late 2006, early 2007, and has not had to require any repairs or any build-up or anything like that. So if that, this is kind of a crazy way to put it, but if that street has not been approved to be taken over by the county, my request this morning, or part of my request this morning, is for that street, for you to consider that county road, which is County Road 4742, or Private Road 4742, as the county sign denotes, become part of the county maintenance.
My recollection is that we did that back after the year. You had to do it for a year, and then if I can remember right, we've already taken that over. But we need to go back and look in the minutes and see where, and make sure we find it. And if it's not been taken over, I'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and we'll accept it then.
Perfect.
But I think it's already been done.
Okay.
Because
Well-
I remember I talked to y'all about it, and we discussed it back
Right.
then.
And it's just like Judge Lee stated to me, there's possibility, as all of you know, I've been through a lot of health issues in that period of time, and, there's a possibility that it was mentioned and that I didn't actually, attend the meeting and request it. It could have been that you brought it at request of us and taken care of it already. The other part of my request is a little bit more in depth. On your brochure that you've got, and that brochure, by the way, is exactly a copy of the plat records that's recorded in the plat records at the courthouse. You're welcome to look at this. This is actually the plat that's recorded in the plat records of the courthouse, county record. Lots 1 through 7, which are right at the very top of that sheet, are 7 lots that actually are not inside, what I consider inside the subdivision. They are accessed by way of an existing county road that has been there for years and years and years, which is 4840. If you look at all the other lots, that road that we built, which is 4742, according to the county sign, actually services all the other lots except for those 7. None of those 7 lots have sold at this point in time. And I have reason to believe that if there could be a very good reason why they haven't sold, and one of them could be due to the fact that about where on your paper you see the word States Property Incorporated in Texas, we have a neighbor there who owns about 300 fighting roosters. And I live close to this, so I've got used to the fact that they do their thing. They crow and crow and crow. And your recollection of grade school where a rooster crows only at the crack of dawn, that's probably not going to hold water. They crow all day and all night. And if you get up during the middle of the night, they're crowing. If you out there during the middle of the afternoon, they're crowing. Therefore, most people that come to view lots and look at lots, that tends to be a deterrent. My request, and it has to be done through the Commissioner's Court, my request is that you remove those lots, or grant me permission to remove those lots from the subdivision proper. And what I'd like to do by doing that is also remove the restrictions that have been placed on that piece of property that consists of those lots 1 through 7. It makes up a total of 4.77 acres. It's already been surveyed and made into one plat. And all I need to do is get you guys to approve that so that I can actually file that deed as 4.77 acres. In doing that, taking that out of the subdivision, I'd also ask that you know that the restrictions that have been placed on those 7 lots also be removed, allowing me to plant a buffer on that land. Because of the fact that it's in the subdivision, I can't plant trees like I'd like to plant on there to create a buffer from that rooster farm to the rest of the subdivision. So what my goal would be is to come in there and do like a pine thicket that would separate the subdivision a little bit more from that existing county road and that rooster farm.
You gonna plant those on not on the county right of way, but on?
Right, I'd step back obviously, and I'd step
so
back.
those
quite a bit.
lots would cease to become developable for
Exactly, and I
residential
understand that,
lots.
exactly. And I do understand that once you approve those to be taken out, that they would never be able to be put back into that subdivision. And I'm okay with that, I'm fine with that.
Why would you say that?
Well, it's what I've been told by the appraisal district. And you gotta understand, this has been kind of a long drawn out deal for me, because about 2 years ago, I took proper steps to have this surveyed and actually transferred into a different ownership from the corporation into private ownership, and went down and filed that. And it's my understanding that it's still filed over here in the records, but they didn't honor it at the Titus County Appraisal District because of the fact that it has not been approved through the Commissioner's Court. So my understanding is that it's Texas law that it has to be done, and you guys have to actually approve that as a Commissioner's Court in order for the validity of it to take effect.
I don't remember that ever coming to the court, Mike.
No, it has not. This is the first time it's actually come to the court. I've been back and forth from the appraisal district, and that's where I'm getting my information that I need to be here today to have you guys actually approve the fact that it would be, those lots would be removed from the
Do
subdivision.
you have to do a new plat and file a new plat if you?
Good question. If I do, I will.
I don't know if
I don't
you do or
know.
not.
I don't know either. I'm getting new information every time I go down to this appraisal district.
Have you gotten an attorney involved with this?
I have not.
You might do that, and if you don't have somebody that you would go to, Tim Taylor's pretty familiar with stuff like this. I think he would be able to tell you exactly what to do and would probably do it for you.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure that any of us knows exactly, how to do it perfectly right where it matches the needs of the appraisal.
The wording that I have been made aware of that needs to take place is basically in the fact, and an exact wording that I was given is that one of the commissioners would make a motion that lots 1 through 7 of the Caddo Trace Estates located in Titus County, Texas be removed from the Caddo Trace Estate subdivision, and that lots 1 through 7 be allowed to become one single tract of land, and that all restrictions associated with that tract of land because of its inclusion in Caddo Trace Estates be removed from the separated tract. That's the verbiage that I've been given to.
And you can bring us a new plat showing just that 4.77 acres to go along with that.
I can. I should have got it this morning. It's
Well, we
already.
can't take action today anyway, since I just had you down as a presentation, but we can do that along with any road that may or may not need any action.
Okay.
So why don't we start with that? And I'll plan as a bare minimum to put that on the next agenda, and you'll provide for me a copy of that plat, and we'll just put those together in the records.
Just the one through lot 1 through 7. Okay, not a problem. I mean, I don't have a problem with going ahead and having, my surveyor pull those lots out and throw me another copy of the subdivision. I'm assuming that that's what's going to eventually have to take place anyway, and it'll have to be refiled.
I would think so, since you're taking those out, Mike. I don't know that to be a fact, but I would think you'd have to refile that.
I would think so too. And I don't foresee that to be a problem either.
Okay. Why don't you work on that and provide me with that? You can either come to the next meeting or at least as a minimum get me that copy, and then we'll take care of that. And then we'll also do the road if we need to do the road.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
Anybody have a question for Mike?
Thank you for your time.
But as far as you were saying, it could never go back to be lots. I mean, what if somebody ended up buying and developing that 300 acres there where the roosters are? I mean, this might at some point be developable land. Are you saying you understand that it could never be put back as lots?
I understand that.
I don't think it could be a part of this Caddo Trace estate. It can be a separate.
Right. Think that.
Well, it could be a separate, you could go back and create a Caddo Trace 2 or something like that.
There's always a way around it. I mean, my goal basically would be to detach those lots totally away from that subdivision. Of course, obviously, there's a tax burden there that would also be relieved because as long as those lots are denoted as a lot in that proper subdivision, then I'm being taxed also on that assessed amount. And so by dropping it back into that 4.77 acres and planning, it would serve two purposes for me, because it would actually give me a buffer for that actual subdivision, which would hopefully increase traffic out there and help us to sell those other lots. And the little bonus that goes along with it, obviously, would be that the tax, burden would be reduced on that tract of land for sure.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
You may.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Just note on there, we'll get that back on. All right, item number 4, consider and possibly take action on utilizing Auctioneer Express to sell surplus county equipment. Mr. McGonigal, come on up.
I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to come in and reintroduce our company to the court this morning. We've been selling surplus for Titus County for over 10 years. We auction off this surplus on our online auction service for the county. We are licensed with the state of Texas. My auction license number is 13801. We conduct all of our auctions with all the regulations, rules, laws of the state of Texas. The reason I'm here this morning, our sales agreement that we've had with the county, I believe, has become pretty well past due. It was signed by Judge Sam. And I just wanted to approach the court this morning as far as renewing our sales agreement with the Commissioner's Court. Basically, it's all the same. There have been some changes as far as some of the wording from the agreement that we had in effect, like where the past agreement said commission, this one says auction sales fee. The agreement has had another provision added in it as far as selling firearms. We can sell firearms for government agencies, but we only sell to FFLs. It's not available to the public. We try to restrict it only to FFLs, make sure that these firearms only get back into, the right hands, and, no convicts or nobody getting hold of them. And if they do, it's falling back onto the burden of the FFL licensee, not the county. There is a $5 minimum lot fee that has been added. We have to charge a certain amount. We can't sit up here and sell $6 items, for such a low commission rate. We'd actually be losing money trying to produce these and sell them all the time it takes to load them, collect the money. Pretty well, that's it. The agreement can be canceled with a 30-day written notice by either party. Wouldn't affect anything we had going at that particular time. It's non-exclusive. The county can use anybody they want for their services. This is just something in place where we've got a firm agreement. And, I could go on and on about it, but I just mainly wanted to approach the court this morning.
Did you say that the rates had not changed?
No, the actual physical rates have not changed, other than we added provision. We do have a $5 minimum lot fee to, ensure that we're not sitting up here trying to sell $5 lots, because it's a waste of energy, time, effort dealing with the people to come in there and, have $5 lots. And 2, them are the hardest ones to collect on. People will buy the low-end lots and then think, oh, well, it's irrelevant, we don't want to pay. So, it encourages to keep the lots up to a reasonable value.
Do you have a buyer's premium as well?
No, we do not have a buyer's premium, no, sir.
It's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
We have found that the vast majority of the bidders out here, they want to know exactly what they're paying for this stuff, exclusive of any taxes that, may be applied on. Of course, we do collect all the taxes, make sure all the taxes are remitted into the state, and, any other paperwork that's involved, we pretty well take care of that. We take care of handling your titles. There is a small fee for that. And, of course, if the county opts to take care of their own titles, that's your discretion.
And this doesn't obligate you. This is just one method we have of selling our surplus
Yes,
equipment.
it
It
is.
doesn't mean we are exclusively
not
bound to
exclusive.
you to sell. Anytime we have surplus equipment, we have to use you.
No, sir. It is non-exclusive. You can use anybody you wish to use.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Yeah, why should we use you to sell our stuff? Let me give you a good example. We bought a motor grader, Volvo, in 2001, paid $140,000 for it.
Yes, sir.
In 2009, You sold that motor grader for $50,900. After
Yes.
your commission, we got $47,000 for a $140,000 motor grader. When I took office, I started buying another motor grader. I found a Volvo motor grader, just like the one you sold, for $50,000, and the bid on it from Romco is $141,000. We had a motor grader with a side boom on it, cost around $80,000, had 2,600 hours on it, and you sold it for $18,000. Why should we use you? That's such a markup, markdown. Do we put a minimum price on what we want for something, or do we?
Yes, sir. And
Whoever give you this, give you a minimum price of $50,000 or whatever. You don't know what it was. It don't say in your agreement. That's what we got for it. I think we need to find an auction that can get a little more money for our products than that. If we sell a motor grader, they want $141,000 for $50,000. You sold it for $50,000. How did that happen? And we paid $141,000 for that, and the motor grader had 2,051 hours. This motor grader, they want $141,000, has 2,800 hours on it. This was newer than this one.
well, first off, you know, when you're dealing with retail companies, they're putting such a large markup on their items. Second off, if you'll do research, and you're more than welcome to, and we leave all of our auction results online, sir, you're more than welcome to go to our website, look at the auction results. There's several revenues you can use, such as Machinery Trader, Top Bid, Rock and Dirt magazines, that you can go back and do research, and you'll see that we're meeting or exceeding average auction value for any of the items that's out there on auction value.
Well, I kept looking on your website. You never did have a motor grader come up for several months, 3 or 4 months, so you didn't have one for sale listed.
Well, you can actually go back and hit search and go back and review the ones that we've sold in the past. We're actually beating the dealer buybacks. You're more than welcome to contact Wood County. That's one of the more recent ones we've done in the past. That motor grader brought $225,000. It was a 140M. You'll check back on auction results, you'll see that it's meeting and exceeding the average returns for them, you know, them motor graders. It also beat the buyback, because what we done, we actually give the county an opportunity to auction it off on our website. They had their buyback value from Caterpillar. We beat the buyback, got our commission, the county put money in their pocket. So, you know, with that being said, that ought to tell you that we're beating the market on that stuff.
It's a hell of a markup, I can say.
Well, but first of all, you said, one, we're not obligated to you. If we can find a better way to sell it, we'll go use them. And if we want to put a reserve on our items, we can do that too.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how much more you could do for us, but
Why do we need a contract? Why do we need to sign a 2-year contract?
he's just, well, here's my opinion. Anybody that the county does significant business with, I think it's appropriate to have a contract in place. A lot of our contracts, there's no obligation on either side to do business with them. It doesn't give them an exclusive, but here Mr. McGonigal is giving you all the details of what he expects, but he's told you that he doesn't, you know, you're not bound to him. So if you never use him again, fine. I mean,
It just opens the door for the sheriff's office or any commissioner to use us if that's what they choose to do.
Dale, how many cities and counties do you sell for in Texas?
We have over 80 entities that we're selling for here in the state of Texas this time. You're more than welcome to go to our website and go back and review them. Call any of them, talk to them, ask them what they think.
Well, I know the one thing that where you have the flat fee, you know exactly, and we can put, if we want 10, we feel like this machine ought to bring at least $10,000.
Oh, yeah.
If it doesn't bring that, we don't sell it.
You can put an opening bid on the item and say, well, we're not going to take less than this much for it. If it don't bring this much, we're not going to sell it. You can put a hidden reserve on it. And that means people can start bidding on it at $1, but if you've got a hidden reserve of $80,000 and it don't hit it, it don't ever hit reserve, you don't have to sell it. I mean, it's just really flexible tool to use. I mean, you're not limited to bound to sell it for whatever it brings. So, you know, it's your option if you want to reserve on it.
Dale, is this something that is signed every time we bring you a piece of equipment?
This particular one you have now, it's an ongoing. It's just put in place, and each time we would sell something for the entities, we would just do a spreadsheet that will be an attachment to this, and then it'll be signed off by whoever is within the entity wanting to sell the item.
Okay.
So such as sheriff wants to sell some items, you know, he can get with us, we'll do a spreadsheet, list the items, send them back to him, he can sign off on it, it'll be an attachment to this agreement that the court has agreed on. Same way with any commissioner, you know, Mr. Riddle can contact us and say, I want to sell this, but I don't want to take less than X amount for it, and we can list it, the agreement's in place, and we can sell it. You know, we do highly suggest that they declare it surplus through Commissioner's Court first, you know.
What is the length of this? I'm looking for a term on here.
Well, it did not have a term on it. It's open-ended since it could be canceled by either party with 30-day notice. We're just doing an update on it.
Okay.
Now, so we did not put an end date on it. If the court wishes to attach a 3-year end date, 2-year end date, whatever the court wishes to attach, you're more than welcome to.
Well, so in other words, if you decide to raise your rates, you know, 3 months from now, if we have a document here that has a beginning and an ending term, that protects us against an increase in rates. Otherwise, we just use you as we need you. Then as long as your rates haven't changed, then this is how it'll be. But
Well, we can't change the rates without coming back to court and getting another document.
well, but that's why I was asking, what's the term? I mean, is this good forevermore? I mean, obviously you don't want to be bound by something that doesn't have an end date.
No, sir. That's why we put a 30-day termination notice by either party in there.
Okay.
I know beforehand, the sheriff had sold a lot of cars and surplus things, and when he went to this, I know the cars were bringing a lot more than what they were before. I know you were happy with it, so.
I do have a question for you, though, on the $5 lot fee, is that going to be for all items, or is that just going to be for the inexpensive items that?
That's for each item, a $5 minimum fee, yes.
That's not in addition, that's included in the 7.5%?
Yes, I mean,
If it reaches at least a price where you get $5.
Right, yeah, I mean, which is in the $60 range. Once the lot hits $60, it falls back to just the standard fee.
Okay, that's what.
Right.
If we had a motor grader for $100,000 minimum reserve price,
I'm sorry, repeat?
if we had a motor grader for sale and we put a reserve of $100,000,
Yes,
still
sir.
be $5?
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir.
Just
no,
a minimum.
sir. That's
Okay.
just if it sells.
Just for clarification.
No, there is no fee if the item does not sell. I do not charge you nothing.
It'd be 6.5% in that example, because the first 50 would be at 7.5, the second 50,000 would be at 5.5, so we'd
Right.
split the difference. So it'd be a flat $6,500 in that example, not $6,505. All right, any other questions? And Dale, you're proposing we do this for a couple of years, or what are you thinking?
Whatever the court feels comfortable with, sir. Some courts will put it in place and just leave it in place until they decide to do different. Or, like I say, the one we had in place with you has been in place since 2009, I believe it is. But we had got to looking at it, and as I said, Judge Sam had signed it, and we felt like we needed to come back to court and get an updated.
Okay.
I don't see any reason we can't sign it when we do it. Get the rates and go along. Why we need to have a contract? I don't see the necessity. Why don't we check with the county attorney and see what he thinks about it?
We can do it any way you'd like to do it.
That's what I'd like to do.
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and get it taken care of and go along with it the way we've had it.
What kind of term are you thinking about?
It's 2 year.
Okay, so is that, I've heard two ideas mentioned here. Somebody want to put this in the form of a motion?
I make a motion, we don't sign the contract, but still use him. I look on the website, I look for a motor grader on your website regularly to see if you had one for sale when I took office. And I think when I get ready to sell one, I'll ask you how much you're going to charge, how much I want to reserve or something. And we do have something, and we do need your services. At least I think we do, but I don't see any need for signing a contract. You can change your rates.
No.
You know, it's 30 days notice if you change your rates or anything, but as far as, if we're going to sell things of this, we should be astute enough as business people to find out what it's going to cost us and where to do it, rather than just have a contract, we can do it.
Well, that was the purpose of the sales agreement contract, is to have a set fee in place.
You can't, well, your fees, if you can change them in 30 days, it says you can change the fees
No,
in
sir,
30
it
days.
says we can
30-day
terminate
notice.
in 30 days. It
can
does
what?
not say anything about changing the rates. It
Terminate
says we can
contract.
terminate the sales agreement in 30 days.
Sales agreement.
Either party can. So if y'all decided you didn't want to do business with us anymore for some reason, you didn't like the sales agreement, send me a 30-day notice and it's over. And it doesn't affect anything. If we had an auction going for you at that particular moment of time, it would not affect that auction. And if for some reason we saw we needed to go up on the rates and the court did not want to let us go up on the rates, we can give you a 30-day notice that we know we're not going to be able to honor them anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I've got a motion by Commissioner Riddle that we reject this contract and just do business with Mr. McGonigal on an as-needed basis with whatever terms are in place at that time. All right, do I have a second? Okay, motion dies for lack of a second. Philip, what did you have in mind?
I'd like to make a motion, we accept this sales agreement and say 2 year term limit on it. And after 2 years, we go back and present another one.
What if we made it to the end of June 2 years from now? June 30 of 16?
It's like we'll get all the bids in.
Yeah.
We'll do
We
that.
get all the bids, that'd be fine.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hinton that we enter into this agreement with Auctioneer Express through June 30th of 2016. Second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. McGonigal. Let me go ahead. Let me read over this. We'll have our county attorney just take a peek at this before we do, and I'll get you a signed copy or discuss any revisions we might want
Yes,
with
sir.
you. Okay?
Yes, sir. If there's anything you need, just call. Mr. Riddle, if you ever have any questions, call me, talk to me. I'll go over it with you. I'll talk to you about your equipment. We can review it. I can maybe get you some results of what the stuff has been bringing in the past year or two and help you out on that as well. Thank you for the court's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item number 5, consider and possibly approve a resolution pertaining to the Clean Water Act. Welcome, Mike Thompson. Come and tell us what you've got in mind. I know you're a strong proponent of the EPA, right? Or have I misunderstood your purpose for being here?
Well, I think me and Troy Sellers probably have the same opinion of the EPA. In its inception, it was a great idea. Since then, maybe the hand of the EPA could probably more than grasp a basketball. But maybe it's gotten bigger than that. I appreciated your prayer earlier, Judge Lee, thanking the Lord for the rain. The problem is, if the EPA is able to expand its regulatory authority, they will be able to regulate the water in that parking lot. And I don't think that's a good thing for the Commissioners Court. I know it's not a good thing for me as a farmer and rancher. Now, of course, Philip, there's not been any controversy over water in Titus County lately, as I understand it. Right?
You weren't at the meeting a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a resolution there. I don't want to take up your time. I have some more background information if you're interested, but basically it boils down to, let's make 2 or 3 points. The EPA, again, did some good things early, but lately their regulatory reach is expanding, okay? They want to change one word in the Clean Water Act through interpretation rather than going back to Congress. Congress won't change it, and the word is navigable. And navigable means, Philip, if you can navigate that 14-foot aluminum boat up it, then the EPA has regulatory authority over it. But if you take that one word out, Katie bar the door, every mud hole, every bar ditch becomes under their authority. Now, next week, probably, I'm going to spray for weeds because this rain is going to make, you've heard the old term, grow like a weed. They're going to be hip high if we don't get in there and spray. And here's the problem with the EPA's proposed rule changes. In the worst case scenario, I would have to get a permit. And on that permit, I would have to specify what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. Well, I'm already at the mercy of the weather, okay? So I can't, Jeff and I were talking back there that there's 2 things that y'all understand better than anybody. The speed of business and the speed of bureaucracy, okay? And now Mike and Philip and Thomas, I know, have had army worms. And if army worms get on your place, there's no time to get a permit. There's barely time to get the 7 spray and get it put out. And so as a farmer and rancher, I can't operate at the speed of bureaucracy and stay in business. I just can't. So we don't need the EPA being able to take the word navigable out of the Clean Water Act, and the Clean Water Act has accomplished tremendous amount of things for the waterways in the United States. But we've got plenty of regulatory authorities in place. TCEQ is doing a great job. Our soil and water conservation districts are doing a great job. And so you should have in your packet a copy of that resolution that we would like for y'all to approve so that we can forward it to the EPA. Now, there's a comment period going on right now respective to this resolution. And I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a slam dunk, whatever it is you want to call it. But I think Troy would agree with me. EPA is setting us up for harm rather than for good here locally. I think Philip would agree. Water is become very important, and it's going to become more important, and that we as local citizens need to have control over those resources, and not the federal government that for some reason has become detached and certainly not responsive to our local needs. So I would ask you to approve this resolution. I have some more background information if you would like it. If you don't, I'm not going to bore you or hand you out all this that you can read. But if you'd like it, I'd love for you to read it over. Do you have any questions for me? I would. The comment period ends June 23rd. What I would be willing to do is if y'all would sign that resolution, put in your title, I would either assist Carolyn with locating, and I have the website and the specific EPA number, or I can do that at our local county farm bureau office, scan it in and submit that resolution with y'all being a third party. I can submit it as a third party comment. Now, I would encourage you to do that, but yeah, I would also encourage you to thank the Lord for the rain every chance you get. Any other questions?
I had the opportunity, we just happened to run together the other day, last Thursday, and we were talking about this, and then I found out they had to be in by the 23rd, and I told him I would like to go ahead and get this on the agenda now, because we don't get it done today, then our next court meeting is the 23rd, and it's at night, so we wouldn't be able to do this. So anyway, he got up here and got it done, and I agree with him 100%. You know, we need to, of course, we all have mixed feelings about this and stuff, but you know, if you own the land and that's your land, you should be able to tend to it the way that you see fit, and that water, as far as I'm concerned, belongs to the landowner. Now, there's flood water and things like that, but that water, to me, belongs to the people. They own the land, it's theirs.
And I would encourage anyone in here, anyone can go online and submit comments. And the EPA, the website is regulations.gov, and then I have the specific EPA number if you're interested, and I'll hang around for a little while if you are in fact interested. So, all right.
Judge, I'm going to make a motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hockaday and a second by Commissioner Fields. You have a copy there. Any further comments or questions? Otherwise, I'm going to ask for a vote. All those in favor of signing and adopting this resolution pertaining to proposed revisions in the Clean Water Act, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mike, if we can sign this for you right now, give it to you and allow you to do the filing on our behalf. Sounds like you know exactly what to do.
That would be great, and I appreciate your support. And again, let me encourage you to individually go to that website and express your comments.
I have a question.
Yes.
All these commissioners are Democrats, and Democrats believe in bigger government and making EPA more. And how could you guys want to have a resolution to reduce the size of government?
Let me say this.
I just wonder.
Mr. Riddle.
No, you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer.
I think most of these guys are conservatives.
I do too, but why they vote Democrat?
I know my granddaddy hosted Wright Patman on our farm when before I was even born. And Wright Patman was a solid Democrat. But more than that, he was a conservative. And so maybe some of the party platforms have changed, but I don't think people in East Texas have changed. I still think we're conservative by our nature, and we're going to do the right thing.
I agree with you. And why you vote Democrat, it puzzles me.
Well, sometimes you just got to find the right piece in that puzzle.
Mike, we're going to sign this and make a copy for our records. I'll give you the original.
Well, just, if you'll flag me back there when y'all have done that,
Well, I don't want to hold you up. I'll have it here for you in just a minute or so.
Thank you.
Website.
Thank you.
The website, let me give you that number. Regulations.gov. And there will be a search box. And if you will go to EPA-HQ-2011-0880. It will bring you up to that particular issue, and it will have a place there where you can comment. And when you click on the comment box, it'll open up a box and you can type in whatever you want to say. I said something like, I think this infringes on our private property rights, and that felt like golly, see, now I'm sitting in front of y'all drawing a blank. But basically, that water is a private property right. But also that we have enough regulation, and then I mentioned again the parallel of the speed of business and the speed of bureaucracy, and I can't operate the speed of bureaucracy and stay in business. So those were my comments. Please put yours on there. I think the EPA wants to know everyone's comments that's a concerned citizen. And thank y'all once again, and I'll shut up and y'all get
Thank you, Mike. Here you go.
Thank y'all.
We got it.
Okay.
And Mike, feel free to step out if you need to head on. All right, I don't blame you. Item number 6, status report on our courthouse annex and Ratliff building construction projects. Good morning, Mr. Basham.
Morning.
Things are moving along well across the street. If you haven't been over there, you're welcome to stick your head in over there. You can kind of see the progress. The contractor, D'Angelo Development, has completed all the internal framing of the spaces inside. So you can start to get a feel for the space over there. I'm having the guys from adult probation go over and kind of take a look of where they're going to be and where their offices are. I met this week with the Main Street Committee, and they approved the facade that was planned out on there. And if you haven't seen, I've got copies of it. It was in the original package, but this is the facade. You can see we went back to the historic look, kind of setting the precedent for the way this is going to look. It'll look like the old time back in the 20s and 30s, back when the original buildings were built, but it'll be built with new technologies. The windows and all are double glazed and sealed, so it's more energy efficient, but will be set into wood frames. Main Street Committee really liked it. We've got a sketch for the whole block that I'm not revealing yet because I didn't want them to approve it totally yet until we refine some things for future projects on there. The electricians are started today back in there, and they'll be finishing up this week. If you did notice on the back side of the building where that main line was coming in, it was all sagged down. That's all been cleaned up, straightened up. They did put a new panel in that was vandalized in previous discussions, and that's been fixed. We have the next item on the agenda that I'll just mention here is an amendment for security and communication lines to go in. We're trying to get that put in before they start putting up walls. The gypboard walls and the insulation in the walls for soundproofing will start going in next week. The other thing that will also happen on the adult probation is the front wall. That whole window wall system will be coming out probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So they can start rebuilding that front that looks like what you see on the drawing there. The Caddo building, which is being reserved for storage, he's just about finished with it. He's moving very, very fast in there. The air conditioning folks were finishing up on Friday. The ceiling grid is being put in today. They should be finished with that whole storage area by the end of this week, meaning it'll be available for starting to move some of the stuff from the Elections Administration into there by the week of 16 June. That south half of the Ratliff building will need to be moved over so we can get contracts to start working on the south half of that building. We're still planning, as we originally did, to do it in 2 halves. South half will be renovated for Leonard's office and his administrative folks. Once he moves over into the south half, then the north half will be a separate contract to renovate the north half of that. The bid packages for the Ratliff building are just about ready. I'm planning on putting those out on the street by the 23rd of June, giving them a couple of weeks to bid on it and on our bid process that we've been using, and plan to start construction on the Ratliff on that south half by mid-July. And it'll be about 60 to 90 day process. It's not a whole lot of work to be done on that south half. We're moving a few walls and then refinishes on the ceiling and floors and walls, but we're not demolishing it. We're not replacing a lot of walls, and we're moving things around.
Tell us a little bit about this design here. Obviously this is in agreement with Main Street. Had they kind of given you some ideas or themes to work with? Is this going to match up with what they're trying to do?
The Main Street Committee doesn't, and I'll say this right, they do not have any standards. They have the authority to approve the designs. They did have the state architect with Main Street Committee come in, and he gave us some sketches that we started with. We're a lot more historic looking than what the state architect had provided. The state architect also did not know what was going behind the wall, so where he would show a window, I can't put a window in looking into a courtroom. So what happens in the courtroom area is it'll be a solid wall on the street side, but we'll make it look panelized with raised paneling and stuff, so that it looks like the other windows that are windows. But yeah, they do not necessarily have standards. We're kind of setting the standard with this project of what they're looking for. There are some projects that are going on in the downtown area that are starting to mimic this. Everybody's kind of looking back at what is there on some of the older buildings. And that's the inspiration for this basically comes from what's on some of the other buildings and putting it all together.
So it's up to the Main Street Committee to make sure that all these improvements going on around here at least share some kind of a common theme. I mean, they're not going to have a, Art Deco and neon next to us. I mean, is that their decision?
It is their decision to approve the designs. My recommendation to both the court and to the Main Street Committee is that they, at some point here very soon, establish some standards so that there are expectations. I mean, what we're doing here on the south side of the square could be the standard, setting the standard for the kind of construction, the look, and at the same time, it also sets kind of the standard for cost by how you design it. There are some variations on this that can be done. Like, for example, the bottom 2 feet could be brick, and you see that on some of the buildings. Some of them are wood out there now. But no, there are no standards, and the state architect is there to advise, but he doesn't authorize anything. So it's just the Main Street Committee that does it. And
this is just the piece there in front of, how wide is that add-on?
that's 32 feet.
32?
In that opening there. There is a lintel, if you go over there, when we took off the canopy over there are some windows up like the transom windows up top that were operable in the old time for ventilation. There is a lintel, a solid metal lintel, which is the brace that goes across that whole opening. There are 2 columns that hold that up, and we will be moving those columns to line up with the hallways that we've got going in there. But it's pretty well constructed. D'Angelo will also power wash and repaint all that stuff that's above that's kind of ugly looking right now, and he's going to go ahead and already volunteer to go ahead and do it all the way around the corner to that corner area where that 45 degree is also. So he'll clean up that whole front area and repaint it as part of this contract. He just offered to do that because he didn't want his part looking good and the other part next to it looking bad, so he said he'd clean it up too. So.
But we'll have a new section in there, then you'll have the old section unchanged there in front of Judy Cook's office for now, and then the corner office, Dr. Witt's office, will be unchanged for now.
For now. We did also, I do have a sketch for, I went ahead and laid out the idea of what happens on Dr. Witt's office, just because we're starting to show them the theme. So this is the adjacent piece of property. That's that corner office. And that was also approved by the Main Street Committee. So the look, you can see, is starting to continue on. Right. It needs to be painted, and it does. We're putting it in a metal pan so that it doesn't sit actually on the concrete. It's all being built with treated wood, and will be painted and sealed, going back for that old look. Could do it in brick. I mean, that's another option. It's more expensive. If the wood is put in properly and detailed correctly, it'll be there for 30, 40 years. That's what you do.
And this has got an awning over all of it that'll partially shelter it from sun and water.
It's got a 6-foot awning. The awning will be the same as it was originally. The awning that was there before and then had the metal ceiling put on it was at 6 foot. And you can actually walk along the concrete right now and see where the rain has washed in the pavers that are there.
What's this corner coffee? Little coffee
Just showing
shop?
how signage would go in.
Huh?
Showing how signage would go in and where possibilities are for signage. It's one of the things that, the Main Street Committee also approves is the signage. And so one of the things I was showing them there is we could put signage either on the glass, which is my intention on the adult probation, but also showing that there is an option to put signage above the canopy up on the top. And you can see, used to be a Bible store over there right now. If you go back and look, you can see where the old sign was up there.
So we're going to have a coffee shop there.
That would be my recommendation. We don't have anything there right now.
Oh, well, why not put the county taxpayers in the coffee business?
No,
That'd be a good idea.
It'd be leased space. That's not owned, it's owned by the county right now, but it's vacant space. It could be sold or leased. It's just space that's there right now.
Okay, if you heard what Carl was saying, he was asking about, changing out some of this along the bottom to brick instead of wood. I mean, is that something y'all would want to consider? How far are you from being ready to start building that if they wanted to make a last-minute change?
We've still got time to do it. And we're actually meeting with him after this meeting to go over some things on the communications and the camera locations. He will be taking that wall out and just boxing it in. He will not build that wall for another couple of weeks. So I could have a discussion with him if we wanted to change that to brick.
But the way we've priced it is with all this is painted wood.
It is
Is it painted or
sealed
stained or sealed?
It's sealed and painted.
Sealed and painted.
I like the way that looks myself.
You what?
I say I like the way that looks myself. That's just me.
All right, any questions for Chris? So you think they'll be able to move into the, Leonard, hang on just a second. You think they'll be able to move in within a couple of weeks? He could start moving some items out of the building into the
You're talking from Ratliff?
Cadell building?
I think by the week of the 16th, at the latest by the 18th, it should be done. He's supposed to be done this week with the Cadell building.
Okay, middle of next week, maybe.
Middle of the week of the 16th. Yeah, that would be middle of next week. That's correct.
Okay. Leonard? Would you give him a mic? Hey, Leonard, let me get you a mic.
Yeah, concerning the Ratliff building, just wanted to make sure that we know that we can't get started on that until after the 21st. We just began early voting for the city council runoff election this morning, and that will conclude next week, but then election day will be on 21st, so we're still using both sides. The other thing I wanted to ask is, how long do you anticipate the construction on the south side before we can move over to the south side?
Less than 60 days.
Less than
30 to 60 days. It's not
Okay.
a lot to be done.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking, because as we move everything from the south side to the north side where we are now, we have a maintenance agreement with election system and software. They'll be coming in during the summer, and we've got 44 pieces of equipment plus our 650, and he's got to have room to be able to open that up and clean it and calibrate it and get it ready for the November election. So we're going to need, I'm saying, I got room to move everything to the north side, but there won't be room to, if we leave it all over there, for him to have room to spread it out and open it up and clean it and calibrate it, which that's got to take place sometime this summer before the fall elections.
So what I'm hearing, Leonard, is that no construction can start over there until after the 21st of July. So
July or June?
No, 21st June.
June. Okay.
21st
Well,
June.
we weren't planning on starting any construction until mid-July.
Okay, that'll
So
work.
that's okay then.
Yeah.
And then as far as your maintenance on your equipment and stuff, the Cadell building will be ready by the end of this week. And that's 1,300 square feet, which is about 3 times the storage we have right now. There'll be air conditioning in it, and we have a wider door put in, so you can move that equipment in and out of that door. Like it's a 3.5-foot door now, as opposed to the 3-foot door you're dealing with right now. So that area is set up strictly for you.
Okay.
And there's plenty of room for for working with that equipment. So that might be a better place. You've got plenty of room spread out.
Okay.
Could he do that work you're talking about, Leonard, over there in that new space at the Caddo building?
Yeah, just need space to, it's going to be climate control and space where, yeah.
Yeah, air conditioned and lighted over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd work. Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other question, any other comments? I'm sorry. Or Leonard, any other comments?
Do you want me to pursue changing that bottom to brick or leave it as wood? My recommendation is leave it as wood, but we can change it to brick. I can detail it out that way too. Y'all have a preference?
These fellows like the wood. I like stuff that lasts forever and ever, but then again, the fact that it does, at least it has an awning, it doesn't have direct west sun, and it doesn't have direct rain will be a benefit. If that was facing west and sun and rain, I'd be pretty leery of it.
I tell you what I can do. Since you like the detailing of the design, let me look at doing it brick with doing some little fancy brickwork and still getting that reveal that you see there with pulling the brick out. So let me talk with D'Angelo and see if we can do that. That way we'd get both desires. We'd put the brick in there, and I'd still get some detailing by doing some corbelling of the brick and pulling the brick out. I think I can do that.
Okay.
I will do that.
Well, this looks great the way that it is, and I think, like you said, it probably would have, it would last a long time, but down there at the bottom is where it's going to be most vulnerable.
Okay.
All right, that looks great. Anything else?
I have nothing else.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Let's move on down into item 7, consider and possibly approve additional expenditures related to adult probation annex for telephone data and security camera wiring.
One of the things that we did not include in the original pricing, because we weren't ready to discuss that yet, had to do with the cameras and the security aspects and the computer aspects of what's going into adult probation. So we're at a point now, we've gathered prices, and we've talked to the folks that do the installs for the county about what it would take, and we got some pretty good pricing. So we have a price now of about $4,900 to do the camera wiring, to do the fiber for all the computer, and to do the 25 pair cabling for the telephone systems that ties back into the county system. We have put in there, and what's in the design is a comm room, as I call it, from doing the federal stuff. The comm room is a room where everything goes to, and we save some cost by putting in the comm room. What he'll do is he'll run one main cable for both the fiber that'll go from that comm room to the, I guess it'd be the northeast corner of the annex where the computer rooms are. So it'll be a one fiber, main fiber that goes from there to the comm room, and then it distributes itself from the comm room into the 16 rooms that make up adult probation and the jury room and the other offices that are over there. It also includes running the 25 pair cable to the southwest corner where the telephones come in now to the annex. He's running one main into the comm room, and then distributing there with a new switch to all of the 16 offices and rooms that are in the adult probation. And then the camera wiring, we're not buying the cameras yet because I think y'all have some kind of camera deal. I was talking with Newman Electronics, and so we did place and site where the cameras would go. I think we're looking at 6 cameras that would look at the hallways and the entryways. And also we're wiring for a couple of extra places that the cameras may go, to include one on the exterior of the building on the south side. Evidently there's a hole in the camera system right there now that cannot see that whole parking lot because it's L-shaped, and there's nothing that picks up the L that runs up against the south side of the adult probation. So there is wiring being put in there, but again, no cameras are being put in at this point.
Okay.
What did you say excuse me, Judge, go ahead.
I was just saying, one thing is on the security camera stuff, you could run that out, that could be paid for out of security fund.
I'm thinking more than that could be paid for. Have you looked at any of that to see if any of this other construction could be deemed to be in the name of security?
I read that it has to deal with the security, so it's
So
not as broad as.
what about the fiber for the computers and the cameras are?
That's the same wire, unless you use the same wiring to do all
Okay.
of it. If you use the same wiring to do all of it, then I put it through the security is my understanding. But if it's separate wiring, then I can only do the security, through the security fund. It's pretty specific.
Okay.
Well, the breakout, the camera wiring is about $1,000.
The others you
It's-
can break out as separate.
Yeah, I can break it out.
So of the 49, 1,000 of it, so 3,900 of it is attributable to phone and data?
Phone and data and the switch, the new switch that goes into there.
That includes the switch? Oh, okay. I was thinking that sounded high for
It is high
just
for-
wiring, but
but
that
no, it
includes the
includes the
switch, okay. The switch for the phone system is what he's talking about. Thomas, what were you going to
I
say?
was just wondering why this was not included in our original, when you was gonna do it, how come it wasn't included in the original price of all this stuff?
We didn't include it because we hadn't decided yet exactly how the layout was going to do. And you remember we changed the adult probation at the last minute from going from that lower level up to just this one level. And we didn't know what we were going to do on the camera system yet. And we discussed that in the beginning, that we weren't including the camera systems in there yet. So
I guess I kind of thought that it would be included as part of a phone system if we eventually moved a phone system, not really thinking about,
And I
you know,
didn't know-
putting wiring in initially. I should have thought of that.
Well, and I should have too. A lot of times when I'm doing the federal stuff, the federal clients that I deal with on the military bases and stuff, the communications and the security stuff is a separate contract from construction because they usually have agreements going on. I didn't know if the county had an agreement with telephone provision and computers and fiber, and you do, but they don't actually run the wire as part of their service, as I understand it right now. So we were vetting out exactly how that worked with the county. I mean, I didn't know if it was already included in the contract.
Well, this way you can get the wiring done before they get the sheetrock on. It's a whole lot better than coming back after the fact and doing a phone and data wiring job after you've already got walls in place. Who's doing that? Are we using people that know our wiring? Dennis?
Rex Thurman was the guy that
Yeah.
was advised, and I got pricing from, that does all your cable and fiber. I mean, your telephone cabling and fiber. And then Newman Electronics for the cameras. Evidently, he's done the cameras that are on the annex over there already.
Okay. Anything else? So $4,900 is what you need approval on?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion we approve the additional expenditures.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields for expenditure for wiring that'll do the telephone systems, telephone switch, computer data wiring, and security camera wiring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, Chris. Anything else? Is that, are we secure in all those buildings now for vandalism, anything like that?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
Even in the Caddo
Building especially is,
Okay.
in fact, we got I worked with the city building inspector, Parrott. Eddie Parrott. Jesus, getting Alzheimer's. Eddie Parrott, and we got it green tagged on Friday. So they're putting a meter in this week on the Caddo building, so it'll be ready to go, like I say, by the end of the week.
Okay.
And then when they take out the front on the adult probation, he's just going to board it up until he gets the front built.
Okay.
He's already working with the glass folks, and I think it's Brown's Glass that is doing the metal, the metal framed windows that'll actually set in the framing that we'll have over there, so.
Okay.
The front should go in pretty quick, but he'll have to board it up for security until then.
You want a copy of these? All right, thanks, Chris. All right, item number 8, open bids and possibly award contract for property and casualty insurance consultant. Same item we had on a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, we had a situation where the company that gave us that bid, which was just one company, was assuming that they would receive that $3,000, I think it was, wasn't it $3,000 every year, knowing that the bulk of the work would be done every 3 years, but there would be some monitoring and oversight in years 2 and 3. And that's not what we have been doing. We've basically brought in Mr. Preston every 3 years, and we continued to use those existing companies for the duration during those 3 years and monitored them to make sure we weren't getting huge increases each year in our premiums. So I went back to this one company. I reworded the ads to make sure it was just done on a 1 year at a time. And so did we get any bids this time? We didn't get anything. I just assumed that our guy from Texarkana, wasn't it, Offenhauser? Okay. Well, that's kind of frustrating. Well, guys, I don't know what to do here. I put this in the paper. I've contacted these companies. I understood that Offenhauser was going to get me that information for today's meeting. I do not know why he did not do that. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know what. Well, he did it, sent it to you the last time. Well, the wording of the ad's very specific. Okay, well, yeah, Carolyn's going to check the mail just in case. I didn't check it Friday. Well, let's see if there's something there. Let's come back to that item here in a minute. All right, we'll come back to item number 8. Item number 9, open and review bids and possibly approve for air conditioning repair and maintenance, a 2-year contract. Okay, I've got 3. I've got Roberts, I've got Wood, and I've got Thompson. I'll start with Thompson. Okay, this was simplified down to just a few figures here. An hourly rate, a material discount, an overtime rate, and service hours that you would be available. So let me read over some specifics here. This is Steve Thompson's bid. Nothing, okay. Steve Thompson says change filters, contractors responsible to supply all filters, and he indicates yes as opposed to no, which was one of the choices. His hourly rate is and that applies for fall and a spring maintenance. The filters are included. $60 hourly rate, $60 overtime rate, service hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and a 15% material discount. Set that aside. Okay, this is wood air conditioning. I see Jeff back there in the back if we have a question. We've got, Jeff, it's not indicated on here as to whether the filters are included. Does this include filters? Okay. Okay, back to those same figures. Hourly rates, $125 an hour for one man, $175 an hour for two men, a material discount of 15%, and same overtime rate as the hourly rate. Service hours, 7:30 to 5:30. Asterisk indicates, please note, we use upfront flat rate pricing in most service work. You will have a set price before we start repair diagnostic fee of $59. Yes, that was listed out here as a fall tune-up and a spring tune-up. Lastly will be wood. I'm sorry, I said wood. That wood was that second one. This is Roberts. Okay, filters included, yes, in spring and in fall. Service rates, hourly rate of $60, 20% material discount, overtime rate of $80, which applies after hours on all call-outs. Service hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. He indicates service call, $60, includes a half an hour labor to diagnose. If several units are needing service, there will only be one service call charged, not a service call for each unit. Basically, we offer the same contract that we've been working under, no price changes. Most of the county units are new and most are still covered by some compressor warranties, which we will continue to fulfill. So I guess the only difference there is there will be a service call each time they're called out, but that's going to include a half an hour of the hourly labor rate. So I guess if we had a 1/2 hour service call, it wouldn't be $30 for the hourly rate. It would be a minimum of $60. So there's always going to be a minimum of $30 if you go less than a half an hour. It would be $60. So $60 hourly rate, 20% material discount, overtime rate of $80, and service hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So a slight difference there with Thompson. Material discount goes to 20% rather than 15%, and the overtime rate goes to $80 rather than remaining at $60. The Thompson contract did not include a service call. And then the wood air conditioning rate was at $125 per hour. All right, any questions? What would you like to do there? You want a week or so to 2 weeks to think about these? Do you want to make a move now?
I'd like to look at them, all of them before we
Okay.
approve them.
All right, I would too. You want to give me a motion you want to table this?
Please.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Riddle to table this decision on the air conditioning maintenance contract. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll set those aside. Can I give those back to you? Let's go on to number 10, open and review bids, possibly approve landscape maintenance service. We've got two of these, Stanley's and Nick Lewis. Stanley's is our current provider, is that right? Okay, this is Stanley's landscape maintenance proposal from July 1 to June 30th of next year, yearly amount of $9,120, which is a $760 monthly. Do you happen to know what we're currently paying? It's pretty close to that, as I recall. Last year it was 674, so this is going to 760, up from 674. We've also added on, have we added anything else? I don't guess we've added any property to that. Well, we shouldn't be providing that. Okay, this is a bid by a Nick Lewis of Cookville, mobile detail, cleaning, and yard service. Maintain lawn areas of the 4 specified locations. He puts $36, so I'm assuming he's talking about $36 per assessment for all 4 locations, or $9 per location. I'm not even sure what that means. All he has told me is maintain lawn areas. Is Mr. Lewis here? Maintain lawn areas of the 4 specified locations, $36. I'm not sure what that includes, but I don't think it's the full service that we're looking for unless he's bidding that on a per. But then down here below it says $36 per assessment for all 4 locations, or $9 per location. Now, surely he's not going to mow each location for $9. I think we'll have to get a little better clarification on that. I'm going to make a motion, we table that by Commissioner Fields. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both of these. James, how were they asked to bid that? In a monthly basis, James, or do you know? How were they asked to bid this lawn service? But I mean, a yearly price to maintain, does it have a detail of what they're expected to do?
No, sir, a couple of them came by and asked, and I explained to them what I was going to do.
Did Nick Lewis come by and talk to you? Item number 11, open and review bids and possibly approve for Type A flex base ash. Who's that going to be? Who's capable of giving us that? It's not Holmes Concrete and Pipe. It's not Span.
Waste management.
It's not Seaton. It's not Cox Concrete. It's not Contech. It's not RK Hall. It's not Road Maintenance Materials. And it's not.
Yeah, it could be that road maintenance material.
And it's not Drake. Any of those, could it possibly be?
The company's name is
Boral?
Waste Management.
Boral or Waste Management? Could it
Waste
be either?
Management took it over.
From Boral?
It used to be,
They just changed their name.
yeah,
Did Waste Management take over for Boral or Boral? Yeah.
They bought it out.
yeah.
What's the name of the new company?
Okay.
Waste
Holmes Concrete, it's not going to be
It's not that
them.
one.
It's not Span, that's pea gravel. It's not Seaton Construction. It's not Cox Concrete. It's not Contech, that's culverts. It's not Brandon Gibson with RK Hall. And it's not Richard Drake, Inc. I will try Road Maintenance Materials here. This one's unmarked.
Do you have this? just had one, we extended it.
This is Longview Asphalt. It wouldn't be that, would it? Okay, so we don't have a bid for ash? It's not. That's from Longview Asphalt. I'm going to write Longview, that's what came out of there.
Don't we have any choice?
Okay. Okay, well, we still don't have anything from them, so I'll get somebody to table that for us.
Make a motion, we table that.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor of tabling the Type A Flex Base Ash, say aye. Opposed? All right, item number 12, open and review bids possibly approved for washed gravel, 3/8 to number 10. Any of those names I've given you sound like the ones that are bidding on your gravel? Longview Asphalt, could they be? No. Holmes Concrete, that's Culvert bid. P Gravel bid?
Big gravel.
There's Crushed Iron Ore, there's Cox Concrete, Contech Culverts, RK Hall, could that be one?
They may bid on it.
They might.
Yeah, bid on paper.
They generally bid on the pig gravel.
And then Drake, could Drake, Richard Drake?
Drake never has bid.
I'll start with Span. Okay, Span's bid, 3/8 to number 10, washed pea gravel, $20.93 delivered per ton. This must be backwards. And then the same product, $22.90 picked up. I wonder if he's got those backwards.
Picked up.
$22.90 per ton picked up, $20.93 delivered. Is that a mistake?
I don't think so. I think they haul it in out here, and then you have to either come pick it up.
Well, but he's giving you two prices. He's giving you a delivered price and a per ton picked up price.
Looks to me like he got told backwards.
I understand it, but I think it's the same thing.
Well, why wouldn't you want to have it delivered every time for $2 less?
They stockpile it out. I understand.
So maybe they mean that. Okay. All right, I'm going to set that Span proposal aside. Okay, let's see if there's another one from RK Hall, if by chance they have bid. Did I give you that envelope? Now, this RK Hall is an asphalt bid. I'll set it aside. Washed gravel, we had asked for a bid from RK Hall, Span, and Hanson. I don't have anything from Hanson, and the RK Hall envelope indicates it's asphalt, but I'll double check. And there is no bid on the RK Hall proposal for any gravel. Okay, you want to, what would you like to do on the, what was last year's pea gravel bids? Span delivered was $20.86. Was there a picked up price? No. There was not a picked up price. Okay, so last year's delivered was $20.86. This year it's $20.93. So if you want to go ahead and accept that one, and
Make a motion, we accept that bid.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields to award the bid for 3/8 inch to number 10 washed pea gravel to Span. And they again have indicated 2093 delivered, 2290 picked up. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll give you that old one back. Put that back. All right, item number 13, open and review bids possibly approved for steel culverts, 16 gauge galvanized and 2.66 by 1/2 spiral lock seam construction. Who would those bidders be? Is that Contech? Anyone else? Let's see, we asked for bids from Texas Steel Culverts and Contech, and I don't see one from Texas Steel Culverts.
You hadn't got one from them in quite a while.
Haven't gotten one from them in a while. All right, so here's Contech. Okay, you ready to write? I'm just going to give you these by diameter. 12 inch, $6.17 per foot. 15 inch, $7.40. 18 inch, $9.25. 21 inch diameter, $10.49 per foot. 24 inch diameter, $11.72. 30 inch diameter, $14.81. 36 diameter, $17.89. And 48 inch, $23.54. Give me those figures from last year. Okay, last year, as a comparison, a 12-inch was $620. This year, it's $617. Last year was a 15-inch, $744. This year is $740. And last year, 18 inches was $930. And this year, it is $925. So we saw a slight reduction there.
Make a motion, we accept the bid.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton to accept the Contech bid for steel culverts. Second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, that's RK Hall. That one came out of a big paper envelope. No? Well, let's find it. Let's find it before we go on. There it is, okay. Item number 14, open and review bids, possibly approve concrete culverts with reinforced steel wire, all diameters. That's going to be Cox and Holmes. So here is Holmes. And here's Cox. I'll start with Holmes. All right, are you ready? 12 inch, $6 even. 15-inch, 7.75, 18-inch, 10.45, 24-inch, 16.75, 30-inch diameter, 24.90, 36-inch diameter, $30 even, 42-inch diameter, $41 even, 48-inch diameter, $50.05, and 60-inch diameter, $85.65. And this is Cox Concrete. He's given me three sizes, a 12, an 18, and a 24. On the 12-inch, hold on, let me back up here. Am I reading this right? Holmes Concrete and Pipe bid for plastic culvert. Those sound too cheap to y'all. I missed the small print there. He's bidding plastic culvert. I do not.
I thought these prices were pretty.
Well,
He just did the plastic ones instead of the concrete.
apparently so. He is not, even though it's very clearly stated, concrete culverts with reinforced steel wire, all diameters. From Holmes Concrete and Pipe, bid for plastic culvert. So
Okay.
now we'll move over to Larry Cox's bid, 12-inch, $12.
$12?
Yes, sir, $12 on a 12-inch round. 18-inch diameter, $15, and 24-inch diameter, $17. How does that compare to last year? Same prices as last year.
Who was this other concrete shovel? What company?
Well, the other company was Holmes, and
It's plastic. Where's it located?
Oh, they were plastic?
This side of Gilmer.
Okay.
That's Gilmer
Yeah,
out there.
I know where you're going. That's those plastic.
yeah, Gilmer.
Wasn't-
Do you all use plastic from time to time?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Boy, there's a hell of a difference in price.
All right, what would you like to do on the concrete culvert bids?
Make a motion, we go with Cox Concrete
All right.
on the concrete bids.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Hockaday to award concrete culvert bid to Cox Concrete. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Would the court like to go out for bids on plastic culverts? You might use them some places.
I've used them occasionally in some places. I've used them. Yeah.
Would you go out for bids on those next court? Go out for bids on plastic if that's what you want.
Y'all want to do that?
I bid 'em, yeah, I could use them.
Y'all might get a change, give the specs more, what companies
Plastic.
think that have to work.
Okay.
That was, that one you before, like 12-inch, $6, that was a plastic.
Plastic, all those were plastic. Where's the Cox? There's plastic. Item number 15, open and review bids and possibly approve for crushed iron ore. We had Seton, Comanche Well Service, and Span. I don't think Span's included any iron ore on their bid. So I have Seaton. All right, pickup at the pit in Morris County, $12 per cubic yard. How's that compare to last year?
Same.
Iron ore. Same. Okay, that's picked up at the Morris County yard. Crushed iron ore. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion, we accept the bid.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton to accept the bid from Seaton for crushed iron ore at $12 per cubic yard. Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to item number 16, open and review bids possibly approved for asphalt, sand, cold mix, hot mix. Let's begin with RK Hall. Here's an asphalt bid. A pad of paper or something there. You need a bigger pad. I've got a pad if you need it. Okay, this is asphalt. Well, this is several items. Let's start with, since they each have the same bid sheet, we'll start with hot oil sand, delivered $68 even, picked up $62 even. Again, this is RK Hall.
It's RK Hall? Okay.
This is RK Hall, yes. That was the hot oil sand, 68 and 62. Type D cold mix. Delivered $70.78. Picked up $65.78. Type D hot mix, $77 even, delivered, $72 even, picked up. There is no bid for hot mix delivered and laid down, and there is no bid for plant mix seal. So that is RK Hall. Here is Longview Asphalt. We'll go back, start again with hot oil sand. $72.50 delivered, $62.50 picked up. Again, these guys are in Longview, so keep that in mind. Type D cold mix, $83 even delivered, $73 picked up. 83 delivered, 73 picked up. And lastly, Type D hot mix, $80 even delivered, $70 even picked up. Longview Asphalt. So as a review, it appears that RK Hall on the delivered items is cheaper in each category. Picked up, they're cheaper on all but the Type D hot mix, and they were $72, and Longview was $70. Now, picked up from RK Hall, that's a local pickup, isn't it? Well, I hadn't gotten to that, but that picked up, just the difference before we even consider Longview. Longview, you'd have to drive to Longview to pick it up, I assume.
Right.
Okay, this is, that's a big envelope that RK Hall came in. I guess that gets us down here to the last one. This is Drake. Okay, we'll start with those same products. Hot oil sand. Look at those other two. Yes, so I can kind of tell them as we go. Hot oil sand delivered $69.55. That's midway between our previous two. Picked up $60.80. That's the low bid. $60.80. Type D cold mix delivered $73.30. That's in between our others. And then picked up $64.55. That's the low bid. And these are in Powderly, Texas, by the way. Type D hot mix delivered $79.45. Again, that's in between our other two. And picked up $68.90, which is the cheapest. All right, would you like, before I give you, let me go ahead and give you Type D hot mix delivered and laid down, $108.50. That is our only quote, $108.50 on Type D hot mix. And then plant mix seal, 500-ton minimum, $126.50. Again, that's a laid down price. So if you would like to bid these on a item-by-item basis, let's go back and look at the delivered prices. On hot oil sand, $68 is the low bid from RK Hall, and $60.80 is the low bid for picked up from Drake Company in Powderly. All right, cold mix, Type D cold mix, $70.78 is the low delivered price. That is from RK Hall, and the low picked up price is $64.55 from Drake. The low delivered price for Type D hot is $77, and the low picked up is $68.90 from Drake. So do you want to award those individually? How do you want to do that? Do you occasionally, or either, can you affordably pick up from either Longview or Powderly compared to RK Hall's bid? There's a $1.20 difference between the picked up price for RK Hall and Drake. Drake beat them by $1.20.
The only problem with the RK Hall deal, sometimes they tell you
May
you
or
got
may
it,
not.
you go get it, you go out there and they don't have it. Or somebody else is already ahead of you.
Somebody's ahead of you.
They pick up what you'd ordered, so, I'm gonna make a motion to go with Drake on that.
I second.
What you're asking now?
No, I'm on hot oil sand right now. Let's start with hot oil sand.
Okay.
And again, delivered, $68 was the low bid from Hall. And then Drake was the low pickup at $60.80.
I'm gonna make a motion, we go with RK Hall on the delivery at $68. That's the low bid there.
Okay.
And with
Motion
Drake-
by Commissioner Hockaday on the hot oil sand, delivered $68, RK Hall, and then your motion on,
Motion will go with Drake on the pickup for $60.80.
okay, so just like the bids reflect, let's do those one at a time. All in favor of, or excuse me, I need a second on the
Make a
delivered. Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor of accepting the $68 delivered price from RK Hall, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then on the picked up hot oil sand, the low was $60.80. I got a motion by Commissioner Hockaday to go with Drake at $60.80.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's go down to type D cold mix. I've got a low delivered of 70.78 with Hall, and I've got a low of 64.55 with Drake.
Picked up? Drake, I got 72.30. What the,
Now, 73.30 was delivered. His picked up price for Drake on type D cold is 64.55, and that compares to 65.78 with Hall.
that's from coal mix. Well, I think Drake is a better deal. I've got stuff RK Hall. It wasn't hot, it wasn't cold. It was cold. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't warm. I really believed it was bad.
I'd like to make a motion that we go with the one that is available at the time.
Okay, prices are close enough where you're comfortable going with whoever's available at the time. Between the two.
Between
because
RK Hall and Richard Drake.
They're considerably cheaper than Longview asphalt. Okay, motion by Commissioner Hinton to go with whichever location has most convenient availability on type D cold mix between Drake and Hall. Second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then we'll move on to type D hot. The cheapest delivered is 77 from Hall. The cheapest picked up is 68.90 from Drake.
Make that same motion.
Make the same motion, but we don't use hot mix.
Don't use it much. All right, motion by Commissioner Hinton to go with the most convenient and affordable at the time on hot mix between Drake and Hall. Need a second. Second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and there's none. And then on the type D delivered, laid down, as well as plant mix seal, we have one bid from Drake. Type D hot, $108.50, and plant mix seal, $126.50.
Make a motion, we accept that bid.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton to accept the Drake bid, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 17, consider and possibly take action on retaining the law firm of Andrews Kurth to represent the county related to the Energy Future Holdings Delaware bankruptcy. Since the last time we voted on this and did not know any idea of what the price would be, I received an estimate from Andrews Kurth, $75,000 to represent the county. When he better understood that we were not asking them to represent us in the valuation process, which is handled by the appraisal district, he thought it might be more like $50,000. Obviously, much higher than we ever anticipated. Again, just to be there, to be our eyes and ears. My personal opinion is we can't justify that kind of an expenditure for the service that we're asking them to provide for us.
I agree.
How, the county attorney doesn't have time to kind of watch out for us, but
Well, here we're talking about somebody who's actually there on site at these bankruptcy hearings. This is a different kind of deal. This is, bankruptcy specialist. The water district, is in a significantly different situation than we are. They will be using Andrews Kurth. It was just an idea that Kerry Wooten had when I was meeting with them, hey, while they're there, do you want them to go ahead and represent the county? And
The
I said, yeah.
The appraisal district, do they represent, I mean, surely they'll have someone there. That,
Well, they're only interested in the valuation aspect
Right.
of it. This has nothing to do with the valuation aspect of it. This is there making sure that the county is, represented in the best possible light. The attorney couldn't really say, here's what I could do for you. He's just saying, we're going to already be there. If there's something comes up and we need to act on your behalf, we're willing to do that.
I've had to deal with bankrupt people, but never with this kind of zeros on the numbers.
Well, again, knowing what I know, I do not think that the services of Andrews Kurth warrant us spending $50,000. I think that we're in a pretty easy to define position with them, although if you want the best of the best representation, that's what it will cost you.
I don't think at this time we can do that ourselves.
And I'm comfortable with that.
I'll second it, too.
Okay. Want to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we not do this at this present time.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hockaday to not sign a retainer with Andrews Kurth at this time, second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 18, discuss TxDOT's decision to continue to provide advanced county road signs. You'll remember at our last meeting, we had quite a bit of discussion about the TxDOT decision to discontinue providing advanced county road signs. Apparently, they got some pushback from some counties, and I received a call last week that they have decided they're going to continue on business as usual. They're not going to utilize that opportunity as a multi-million-dollar cost savings. They're going to continue to provide advanced county road sign, but they will not give us the big, larger sign atop of the stop sign. Remember, it was a trade-off.
We'll have to take care of that ourselves then.
We'll take care of those with the size that we've been utilizing, and they'll continue to replace and repair the advanced county road signs as necessary. So back as it was.
The feedback that I've got, that people rather have them on the highway than the post anyway.
Well, I think that was always the preference, but it sounded like a reasonable way to save some possible money.
We need to make a motion on this.
No, there was nothing there that,
Do we need to rescind our vote last time for us to do that, or?
well, we really didn't do anything the last time. We were not signing the document that they asked us to sign. So no action is necessary. They'll continue on. Unless you want to do something different, they're going to continue it as the way it is right now.
Let them do it.
Okay, well, I thought that was good news. Item number 19, consider and possibly approve travel and seminars. Yeah. Thank you. Let's come back to item number 8. We did not receive any bids for a property and casualty insurance consultant. So I will see if I can't try again to do this.
I told you I had that list. I'll give you that list of those people that we contacted.
Okay. Christy is anxious to get somebody helping her. I mean, anxious.
Bids are already going out and finished, so it's kind of where.
Yeah, I think we can still get somebody that can still help us.
Okay. Well, if I can get, if I call him and he says, oops, yeah, I just forgot about this, I need to get that to you, do we still need to go through another bid process in order to do that? Twice. Well, either that or no thanks, we'd rather provide your insurance rather than being your consultant. That was the other response, and the other response was, well, we'll think about it. The other two responses, we'll think about it, we're just not sure we're in that business. So there's nobody else out there that I expected a bid from. I was going to be, but this guy said, hey, I'll redo this. I'll end up raising my price if you want me just for 1 year, since I'm not going to get 3 plus 3 plus 3. So I'll find out about that. All right. So on item number 8, did we table that, Diane? No. We just passed it. What's the difference? Now we want to count. Now let's table it. All right. So somebody give me a motion to table this.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fields, second by Commissioner Hinton. We're going to table our matter of property casualty insurance consultant. All right. Now we'll go to item number 19, our travel and seminars.
Can we vote on it?
Do we vote?
Oh, let's vote. All in favor of tabling the matter on the insurance consultant, say aye.
Aye.
I've moved on from that, obviously. Senior moment, and I'm past that, too. Okay, here's our first one. These first two are from Sheriff Ingram, and these are to send a couple of his, I'm assuming Renee is a female, is that right, Sheriff? Okay, to send Renee Martinez and Deborah Lawrence to Basic County Corrections course in Tyler. This would take place during the 2-week period of the 14th of July to the 29th of July, and they would travel back and forth as needed. A $210 registration and test fee, $20 per day for those non-overnight per diems, and then taking a county car. That's for times 2, so $210. Will they be able to carpool, or do they go at different times? Okay. $210 each for registration and testing. Then here's a third one. Diane Norris requests to go to the 119th Annual County and District Clerks Conference. We had previously approved paying the registration cost of $200, and this will be June 22 through 26th in Frisco, and that will involve hotels and meals. We've got $180 worth of per diem meals and $841.85 worth of hotel, and $132.27 worth of mileage to go to Frisco. Brings the total to $1,354.12. Anticipated expenses related to County and District Clerks Conference, Frisco, Texas. Those are the only 3 that I have.
Make a motion, approve travel.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields to approve that travel request. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 20, approve oral and written reports of county officials.
Thank you. Make a motion, we approve reports.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields to approve these oral and written reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 21, consider and possibly approve the treasurer's report.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton.
Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 22, approved budget amendments.
This is 32 through 37. There's always two types of budget amendments that are approved. Some of them are line item budget amendments, some of them are borrowing new money or reporting new revenues. I tried to write out for each one, whether it was a line item change or whether it was a actual.
You want to just go over those while you're standing there?
Number 32 is a line item budget amendment. Inside the loop construction is moving $177,000 that y'all approved at the last meeting for their additional construction management that is coming out of the program contingency. So it's moving out of contingency over to the program management. Now, that's just for that 177. There'll be the rest of it, I don't know if that adds up to be.
Monthly, it can be included in the monthly invoice.
Well, either that or they may actually change the budget and pull the whole 800 out at one time, but whatever they do, they'll move for the contingency for that. That's number 32. Number 33 is another line item budget amendment for some moving around between the Middle Street building, autopsies, Northeast Texas, Meals on Wheels, County Justice, Commissioners Association dues. But it didn't involve any money, it just moved money around between different lines. Number 34 is to budget an additional $5,400 on the adult probation demolition. This is additional monies coming out of the fund balances under the emergency budget.
How much?
$5,448. Number 35 is to budget the city utility line relocations out of the right-of-way fund. A couple of months ago, we did the dry water ones. This is the city. Again, this is something that wasn't originally budgeted. It's coming through the emergency budget amendment provisions. But there's $3.3 million, if you'll look at your cash reports, in that right-of-way money, and that's just.
That's shared between those two projects.
That's right, between the Parks Club project and the Chapel Hill project. Although we haven't done anything on Chapel Hill. They are, I don't know if you've been out there, I don't know if you've they're coming along pretty good.
Yeah.
They're supposed to finish it before school starts back.
That's my understanding that they're so start on it. Is that correct, Mr. Riddle?
Yeah, they're working on it right now.
Yeah, they're working right now. Number 36 is an SCAAP grant. This is a different grant that we didn't have at the beginning of the year. It's a line item change because I'm budgeting $9,700 in revenue and $9,700 in expenses. So it's not going to be any money, but it's not going to come out of any fund balances, but it is a revenue and an expense for the budget that wasn't the original. For a grant that wasn't the original budget. And then number 37 is in the district attorney's drug forfeiture fund. It's $25,000 in additional revenue. When I budget that, if you recall, that's drug forfeiture. You never know exactly how much of that's going to be awarded to the courts through the course of the year. But I always estimate what I think it's going to be. And I'd estimated $50,000 coming in, and so far $75,000 has come in. So that's to amend that budget for some additional revenue. But it is additional revenue, so it's an emergency budget provision, not a line item change.
Does Chuck tell you when that is official, they can have that money?
The district court bills, they send a court order. The case is finalized.
Anybody want to see these?
Whatever money's been seized is allocated.
Okay.
They tell us the court order.
All right, need a motion for budget amendments. Motion by Commissioner Fields to approve budget amendments.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 23, sign pay orders and approve payments.
Make a motion to pay our bills.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton. Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of signing pay orders and paying bills, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 24, closing comments. I'll start. Just want to mention, I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to go out and if you notice the Sky King C-47 flying over town on Friday evening and Saturday, that was a really neat deal that Scott Glover got in contact with Titus County Cares and said, I'd like to do a fundraiser, and I'll take as many passengers as you can get to pay $200, and I'll take them on a 30-minute flight around Titus County. All proceeds go to Titus County Cares. We had some real interesting folks that were able to take that flight. Steve Austin was talking about it on the radio this morning. Had a couple of guys there that were actually there in Normandy. That was a special trip for them. Some of our volunteers, Steve Austin got to go, and a lot of folks paid some money, and I think they're approaching $15,000 raised by that event. So good fundraiser, but even better, a lot of fun for people to get to ride in that neat plane, and especially veterans that got to go. And quite a few veterans did get to go thanks to generous donations by Pilgrims, American National Bank, not to mention the Glover family, and paying that gas bill, I would have hated to have seen it. $5 a gallon and he took at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 flights that day. That's all I had.
I don't have any,
Gentlemen?
Judge, thank you.
I have nothing, Judge.
Judge, I just wanted to mention, I had to get up earlier in court, and I had to step outside from the sheriff's department, and we had some trees down, and I had to go back out and make a couple of calls, but I apologize for having to get up, step outside just for a moment.
That's your specialty, isn't it? Tree man. Seems like. Commissioner Riddle? All right. Thank you all for coming today. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton and a second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.